I'm not the only one that's ever looked back on their work and been like, I can't believe I made this. Like this, like it blows your mind, or you look back and like, yo, I can't believe I made this. Yo, today we're gonna be going through some of my colored pencil work. Now, one of the biggest problems I have as an artist is I don't really take time to appreciate the things I make. I don't take time to appreciate my work or even really critique it, because when I'm done a piece, I post it up and I typically just store it away somewhere, never to be seen the light of day until years and years later, as you'll learn with these. So I have some colored pencil pieces. If you guys didn't know, yes, I used to do colored pencil work. I have it some behind me right here, as you can see. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna break it down, my views on it, what I think, and you guys can break it down what you think. But before we get into that, I'm trying to grow this channel to 1,000 and beyond. I need you guys to show me some support. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Let's get into it. Now, of course, the first piece we gotta talk about is my very first colored pencil piece, which is the Black Panther. This was back in 2018, and as you see here, we got the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, the actor who played him, rest in peace. Then we got an actual Black Panther. This piece took me about, I think, somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks. And I remember just working very tediously on it, trying to pay attention to every little detail I could and trying to produce the best Black Panther artwork out at the time. And arguably, people will say this is one of my best pieces. It's definitely one of my classics. You know how a lot of music artists, they have classic albums, classic songs. This is what people will say is my classic. This is what brought me to the dance in a lot of sense. This is what got me a lot of attention online, went viral. Very proud of this piece, even outside all of that, just because of all the hard work and dedication it took. Like, I really buckled down and focused, and I remember just spending long nights working on this. Like, this is only 11 by 14, but I put so much time and effort into this piece. So it has a special place with me in terms of the work ethic that went into it. Then we gotta talk about the counterpart that came after it, Killmonger, Eric B. Jordan. We got the Killmonger suit, which I think is really badass and even looks better than the Black Panther suit. Then we got the Jaguar, which his character, the Golden Jaguar, that's what the suit was named after. But this piece, it didn't take me as long as the Black Panther piece. However, Michael B. Jordan, very hard person to draw. Very difficult. I was so frustrated trying to get the perfect shape of the face, trying to get the eyes right. Even looking at it now, like it still seems a little off to me, but hey, I put my best foot forward and I really put a strong effort into getting his portrait down right. But he's very difficult to draw. But even with this piece, I've enjoyed the whole process, especially working on the suit here. A lot of fun. The suit had more of a blended style. There wasn't too many details, so I was cut some slack in that way. But again, another classic. Speaking of Michael B. Jordan, we might as well go ahead and cover the Creed piece. This was also a pretty fun project to work on. I think this time around, I really got his face right. It was still challenging, very, very challenging, but this time around, I felt better about how the portrait portion, his face, turned out. It was a lot better than the Killmonger piece. And this piece came around pretty much because I'm a fan of the Creed series. You know, I'm a bit of a Rocky fan and I just loved Creed. So This came out around I believe the second film is when I started making this piece. And yeah, I just put this together. Looking at it, I could have done some of the composition better. There's some things I could have improved, definitely. You know, there's things that I would have done different or would do different now with this piece. But again, still very strong. And I love above him with him screaming there. If I had to redo this piece, I would just narrow it down to just these two right here. Those two subjects. Yo, we gotta talk about this piece right here. Absolutely loved working on this one. I used Crystal Westbrook as a reference. She was the muse for this piece. And I thought it would be pretty awesome to transform it into Majin She. So you get it like Majin Buu, but it's a play on words, Majin She. Anyways, she actually ended up reposting this and she has over 1 million followers, which, you know, typically I don't pay attention to that type of stuff, but I was so appreciative of the gesture for her to share this with her audience. Like, my audience loved the picture, so for her to take this piece and post it and say something nice about it, that really did something for me. And, you know, again, just the utmost gratitude for her doing that. This is a piece that I want to take and redo in oil paint, maybe acrylics, now that, you know, I moved on from colored pencil. And there's a lot that I can do with this now that I'm looking at it. We gotta talk about this piece, man. We gotta talk about this piece. Venom, Spider-Man, Tom Holland. I did this piece when the first Venom movie came out. And I said, you know what? I gotta do it a bit different than what other people are doing, as I typically do. And that's when I decided, you know what? I'm gonna foresee the future and add Tom Holland to the mix. Now, in 2021, look where we're at. Spider-Man movie about to come out, but also we had an end credit scene with Venom looking at Tom Holland possibly. So I seen where things were going with the MCU, and especially with Disney buying Marvel and getting other properties. So I was like, you know what, this is gonna happen at some point. Let's just make it happen now. And with this piece, the amount of detail, like, it didn't take me as long as the Black Panther piece, because by this time my skills had improved to where I was working a bit faster. But the amount of detail in it was just, I was amazed and taken back. You know, typically when I'm working on my pieces, I don't really stop to really appreciate what I'm doing. But after some time, and even now when I come back and look at it, it's just like, wow, like I really put a lot of detail in this. And that counted for some amazing results. We can't leave without talking about my favorite out of my colored pencil series, Logan. Also, Wolverine. I decided to mix the two. I like both of the, well, they're the same person, but we can separate them as two different characters for the sake of this video. I love the Old Man Logan story, and Wolverine has always been one of my favorites, not only as a Canadian, but I just always loved how he was depicted. So I said, you know what? Let me combine the two. And that's where I came up with this concept of doing the X, as it's kind of like his past and his present right over his eye. Then we got, of course, his blade right across. And I thought that would be really awesome to combine the two. It's also like my childhood, the X-Men animated series that I grew up on, combined with Old Man Logan, the last rendition of Wolverine that we've seen. Looking at it now, one of the things I really like about this piece is just the contrast between the light and the dark. You have the light in the front, the bright colors, then you just have the darkness of Old Man Logan. And that kind of speaks to everything too, because you look at Wolverine in the animated series, yes, he was pretty hard-headed and he was pretty assertive, but he had a bit of a lighter side to him where when he gets to the point of Old Man Logan, he's just all out ruthless, pretty much. He kind of keeps to himself. He's kind of secluded to himself, but he's no one to mess with. So yo, you might be thinking, okay, you posted up all this great artwork, you know, you critiqued it, said what you like, what you don't like. Is there a piece that you absolutely hate? Is there a piece that was an absolute disaster? Yes, of course. Matter of fact, I got it right here. Now, this is not to speak bad to the muse that I used in this piece, but it just didn't turn out the way I planned. Like, look at this. This is, I stored this in the back of the book where I have all the other 11 by 14s. Like, I am just not pleased with this piece. And the reason is because as many of you artists watching this, or many of you creatives in general, sometimes you have something in mind. You have in mind how you want the end result to be. So with this picture, the end result didn't meet my vision. And when I'm working through the piece, I can see it not coming along to where I need it to be, but I wanted to commit to it, try and fix those errors. And also, I just wanted to finish the piece and look back on it and think, okay, you know, next time I need to improve on this. And this was actually the very last colored pencil piece I did. By the time I did this, I had already moved on to painting. I believe I was water painting at the time. Watercolor painting at the time. And I was transitioning over to acrylics a bit. So I was messing around with the two mediums and I moved on from colored pencil. But I said, yo, one more time. I'm gonna go back one more time. Like a lot of these retired wrestlers, one more match. I'm gonna go back to the colored pencil work, see if I still got it. And I didn't have it. So sometimes you move on with your work and, you know, you end up bettering your skills in a better medium. You find out this medium is actually for me. And what I used to do is just a past memento, but all in all, still had a lot of fun with colored pencil work. Thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all next one. Peace.